Hey, aloha from Hawaii. All right, welcome to my page. Another go live, another day. It's actually nighttime here now in Hawaii. It's 7:21 p.m. I usually do this go live during my lunchtime, but things happen, and so we just have to adjust. It's not have to be a stickler schedule or whatnot. But yes, today is the day 8 of my 90 days go live challenge. Who does a 90 days go live challenge? Me. All right, I've never done a 90 days go live before, but here I am. Why not? I took on a challenge. Okay, so the title is right here at the bottom. Let me check my Facebook real quick. 90. The people who raised me, gratitude for roots. Okay, so if you are joining me or watching me, whether it be right now or the replay, please let me know where you're joining me from. If you don't know me yet, my name is Rena from Hawaii. It's Aloha from Hawaii up there. And I am a Navy veteran, married to also a veteran. Full-time registered nurse. We have two boys. My son actually just joined the military and he's in Texas right now. Um, what else? And a proud digital business owner because this business will retire me before I turn 50. All right, energy. I think I used up all my energy. I am a little bit, I don't know, I have a headache. That's a good thing about having a business because I can show up anytime and I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to dress up. If I had a part time job and I had this headache, I would have already called out in sick. But again, the topic is the people who raised me, gratitude for roots. For this few days, I think few weeks, our inspiration is coming from the book The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. I tried to look up what this topic was from, but I can't find it. But the topic that we're talking tonight is the people who raised me, gratitude for roots. Of course, when you hear this, the thing that comes to your mind, that comes to mind, are your parents, right? Our parents' roots. The people who raised us, whether it be your adoptive, is it called adopted or adoptive parents, or your real parents, or whether you look up to your grandma, whether it be your grandma, grandpa, or auntie or uncle, whoever raised you. If so, just kind of follow along, and then the first thing that I'm gonna talk about is share how upbringing shapes your work ethic. I think if I may speak for Filipinos and a lot of us, especially my generation, 80s to 90s, perhaps 70s as well, we all were raised. Well, I came from a poor family. I came from the province, so we did a lot of hard work. Meaning, for me, I grew up in the farm. So my parents were farmers. That's all they did. They would wake up early in the morning. I I haven't even woken up yet. They would just go to the field and work all day. I would come home from school and they still are not home because they're still working. Share how upbringing shapes your work ethic. For you, how was your upbringing? Were you raised to work hard? Were you raised, you know, I don't know about generations now, but were you raised to just sit around? You wake up and you just sit around, be on your phone. When we were growing up, there were no phones. So when you wake up, you're going to be working right away after eating. Clean the house, clean the backyard, water the plants, whatever. What else? Or go to the field, go to the farm and go work. So work ethic, I am proud to say that I consider myself as a hard worker, and I got that from my parents, especially my mom, who is now in heaven, and my dad is also already in heaven. But I've always seen them working hard. One of the things that they instill was like when you start something, you got to finish it, and it's one of those things like instilled in me. And again, I've seen them work hard. I was actually talking to someone about this before. I'm not gonna make this long, but I feel like it's already long. It's already 5 minutes. I haven't even tackled all the topics yet. But we used to grow tobacco and we work hard, and I've seen my parents work hard, and it's a lot of work. For those of you who grew up with tobacco, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like an all night, all day kind of work. So that's where I got my work ethics from because we grew up poor. I grew up poor. And so we were taught to work hard. And like I said, I'm not going to make this too long. So that's that, how upbringing shapes my work ethic. Again, if you grew up poor, you would have to work harder. I would say that's how I grew up. And then honor a parent or guardian. So for you, if you're watching this or if you're going to watch this replay, who would you honor? Is it your mom? Again, I was talking a while ago. Um, is it your dad, your grandpa, grandma, auntie, uncle, brother, or sister? Sometimes we have a guardian. Our siblings could be our guardian if someone lost their parents at a young age. So for me, I would say both of them. I want to give credit to both of them. Again, I honor them because they both work hard. My mom has always been a tough cookie. That's one thing about my mom, tough cookie. And I think now I'm realizing it, her faith. I used to question that when I was younger. I'm not going to expand too much on that, but her faith. That's what I honor about her. And now I realize that I understand why she was like that before when it came to her religion, to her faith. And my dad, I give him so much credit for giving up alcohol. So when I was younger, when we were living in the Philippines, he used to drink a lot, and that's kind of like how I a little bit despised him growing up because he used to drink a lot. He was a happy drunk, but nevertheless, he was still a drunk. But coming to Hawaii, before we came to Hawaii, he had to give it up, like turkey, cold turkey. And now that I'm a nurse, I kind of understand now. I don't know how it feels to do a cold turkey, but I respect him for doing that. He did that for us to be able to come to Hawaii, because that was one of the things that he failed. It was his liver. He had a problem with his liver. He had to take medications for a year before we could come to Hawaii. So I respect him for that. He sacrificed his his addiction, because I call it an addiction. Alcohol is an addiction, and so that's that. And then what's the last topic? Okay, so the last one would be, I'm not sure. All right, there you go. Connect it to legacy digital business freedom. Again, I am doing this go live for my business, so I would have to talk about my business. Whoever is watching, please let me know where you're watching me from. But basically, I have gone through the people who raised me, gratitude for roots. So it's all about my parents for me because they were the ones who brought me up. I shared how my upbringing shaped my work ethic. Again, because I grew up poor, and so that um, built the foundation of me working hard and honoring your parent or guardian. And so now I am into the connect legacy digital with my digital business freedom. So for those of you who do not know, we don't talk about this as much, but our business actually has a legacy. So it's something that you can pass on to your family 7 generations down. Not just one, not just two, not just three, 7 generations down. So this is one of the best thing. This is what's keeping me in this business because it's something that I can pass on to my children, to my future grandchildren, to grandchildren, whatever, however they want to pass it on. And so that's one thing that is intangible. It's something that you can build to pass it on. So I'm thinking about my parents. Like I said, we grew up poor. I grew up poor. My parents didn't really have any that much possession. They didn't have any land. The land that they were working on was not even theirs. They were, I think it was my grandparents or someone else, our neighbors. And so there was really nothing that they passed on to us, their children per se. And there's only one thing that they bought, a land, And so I'm actually in the process of working on that. But other than that, there was nothing. In our language, it's called pamana. There's really no pamana, nothing. There was no pinamana sa amin, not even a land. You know what I mean? And so this business is something that I can pass on to my grandchildren and great grandchildren. And that's what I love about this business. And I know a lot of people like giving money, but that money can easily be used, abused. You know how when you give someone like so much money, they would just keep spending, 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 and spending. Well, with this one, if it's a business, at least they can work on it. If they learn it at a younger age, they will know how to manage it. That's something that can last. If you're only just going to give them money, if they don't know how to invest, if they don't know how to use that money properly, then it will just go to waste. So, but if you have something that is has a great foundation, like a business, then they can grow it, and they can learn it, they can grow it, they can call it their own. So that's the beauty of this business. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go, and like I said, I have a headache, and so I just wanted to show up because this is a commitment that I made, and I'm glad that I can do it this in the comfort of my home. And that's the beauty of having your own business because you don't have to dress up, you don't have to go anywhere, not like a part time job. If you don't feel right, you would have to call out. But with this, I can just do it here and do it like this and just in my own time. All right. So if you have any questions, just let me know, message me, or leave a comment. All right. Mahalo. Thank you. Salamat po. And always, always, as always, always be grateful. That's a lot of always. All right, always be grateful.